All right. Well, good evening and welcome to the Investment Dominator setup call. My name is Jory. I will be your host today. I'm going to let people trickle on in here for just a minute. So we'll get started here in just a couple of moments. So if you need any water or a quick bio break, now's the time to do it. And we will get on the road. So welcome in, one and all. Okay. Okay, we're going to give everyone a few minutes to come on in. Again, my name is Jory. I am the facilitator for the Investment Dominator setup call and a Q&A call that happens after the setup portion. So if you have questions that have nothing to do with the setup, you are able to put those in the chat and we'll address them after the setup portion is done. Um, and again, we'll get started here in just a few moments. Again, we're just letting some additional people come on in. I'll start sharing my screen here in just a moment. All right, everyone, we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you so much for your patience and joining me this evening. Again, my name is Jory. I will be facilitating the Investment Dominator setup call as well as the Q&A call. So it's all blended together. Good times. This call is basically for individuals who are starting their land flipping journey using the Investment Dominator. We answer questions regarding the functionality of Investment Dominator. Any questions like for the process or about the education that you purchase, those will more so go through your coach, or you'll be looking more at land profit generator associates or your land experts to help you out with those processes as well. All right. So again, my name is Jory. I am sharing my screen. So you should see 2.0 here. That's what we'll be working on today. If you're in Legacy and you're curious about where to find your 2.0 or how to get there, in either version of Investment Dominator, there's always a logo for Investment Dominator in the upper left-hand corner. When you click that, that brings you back to your home page. Your home page will always have the version here where you can toggle. So you'll have Legacy at 2.0. So if you happen to be in Legacy, you can just click 2.0 and make your way over. Okay, so today we're going over the basics of Investment Dominator. And what does that really entail? We'll talk a little bit about key terminology, setting up your profile, your signature, setting up your acquisition or your buying side of the business, and then the selling side of your business as well. We'll go over a little bit of a sample workflow, and then we'll go into that time of Q&A. A few of the things, the key terms that I will be mentioning this evening include like pipeline and deal flow. The deal flow is like the pipeline for your deals. Like, how would you like to sell them? Are you using the classic deal flow, which is sending out the marketing letters and then having people reach out to you to ask you for an offer, and then you sending them an offer, and then ultimately you'll sell the parcel of land to someone else. That's the complete land flip in the classic version. You also have like the option to do blind offers. So there are quite a few deal flows in our system. You'll be able to see them as we work through it tonight. We also have the prospects and leads there, seller, the person who is going to sell you land, or the leads that you have versus a person who wants to purchase your land. We'll talk about property records. Those are the records that are in Investment Dominator. Campaigns would be like your outreach or automations or marketing, like sending out those letters. Any of your letters will be considered a campaign. Any bulk changes or your mass updates, we'll kind of talk a little bit about that as well. So first, we're going to look at setting up your profile. If you have any questions in between, you're welcome to put those in the chat. Normally, we're going to cover all of the basic things tonight, but if you have something that you know is not covered in basic training, you can go ahead and put that in the chat, or as that goes along, I'll check in to see if there's anything that goes along with what we're talking about, and I'll address it at that time. Okay. All right. So this is Investment Dominator 2.0. And of course, like I stated, you have your logo up here. That's always your home. That'll always bring you back to the home screen, no matter where you are. If you're trying to toggle between versions, but after you come to 2.0, why would you want to? But you have that option right here. You also have your team settings here. So that's anyone that you're working with or just for yourself. You can set up additional team members here in this page. And the first thing I want to do is look at your profile. Your profile has all of your personal information. The only thing that's facing your clientele or the individuals that you're reaching out to would be your signature image. That signature image shows up automatically on your prospect neutral letter. That's that first letter that goes out to all of the people. It's a marketing letter, so that's why you have the option for to create a signature here. So in here, you have your first name, last name, your profile picture if you would like to have one. Again, that does not show up on your letter naturally. You have your time zone where you actually live, and then your password. There's a space to change your password here. Your signature image, you have multiple ways to change that. You can generate a signature, or you can just go in and click the image just to get started and download something from your actual device if you have a saved signature, or you can go in and just click signature. You have the option to draw it if you have a touch screen, or if you have really good um, signing efforts. Yeah, kind of like that. But you can always reset and try again. So, you could just kind of do something like that and confirm it, and it automatically changes just like that. Now, if you're not so great with the mouse, like I'm not, you can just go in and generate a signature. Just type in your name like here, and then choose a script for it. So just go with great vibes, and we'll say okay, and it shows right up. Okay, so that's how simple it is. Just kind of click around and play in here. So that's your signature image. You have your email or your username. This will be your this will be the email that you're using to log into Investment Dominator. So we do not want to change this unless you discuss it with one of our Land Profit Generator customer service team members first. The reason being that if you change it here, it's going to lock you out of your system and it's going to make things very unpleasant. So you want to leave this be here in your profile. You're welcome to change the email addresses in the buying side of your business, selling side of your business, but your email address that you use to sign up for the Land Profit Generator education and for Investment Dominator, you kind of want to leave those the same, just so that everything flows well as you start to make purchases like data service or any add-ons. It's all associated with that. Even your tickets are associated with your email address. So the email address in your profile, you want to leave that the same unless you discuss it with us first or send us a ticket or talk to someone on that customer service team. Okay. So next up here, you have views. The view is just how you would like to see your property records displayed on the screen when you go in to look at your records. So this is something that you'll pick up as you go along. You'll make those decisions. I'm pretty straightforward. You got the list view going on, so you could do that. You also have card. And then, of course, for your tasks, you can use a calendar if you like. And then notifications. The notification screen pertains to individuals that visit your websites. So if you go in to create your domain names, for your domain names, you have one for your buying side of the business and one for the selling side of your business. So here is where you will determine how you will get contacted if someone visits one of those websites. So the the buying side of your business is the land new offer request. So this section here is about your buying site. And here will be marketing new prospect. This will be from your selling site. So these are the properties that you have for sale. And then the buying site is for properties that you wish to buy. Okay. All right. So that's your profile in a nutshell. So basically, everything here is kept private with the exception of your signature image. That's the only thing that shows up organically on letters. Okay. Next up is your settings. So we want to look at the buying side of your business first, because that's the first side that most individuals will encounter, if, especially if you're sending out letters and using the classic deal flow, which would be sending out those prospect neutral letters. You'll be sending out thousands upon thousands of those letters. So the information that's contained in this section, and that's why it's so important. So under company, you have buying, acquisitions, and then selling dispositions. So we're focusing on buying right now. If you have a company name, you can simply type it here in the box, and anywhere you click outside of the box, it will save your information automatically. Also, your company address. So your company address will be the return address that shows up on the outside of those prospect neutral letters. So you're sending out letters, you're saying, hey, I want to buy your land. So either your name or your company name is on there along with this address. So because you're sending out so many of these letters to complete strangers, and not everybody's nice these days, so you don't want them to have your home address. You want to use a business address, be it a suite number from your post office, or if you go through mailboxes, etc. Those spaces will allow you to get a virtual mailbox as well. So a virtual mailbox is basically when they give you an address, you have the address, you can use that on your letters, and when they receive mail, they receive it at a central space, and they'll scan that mail into you and send you an email. You can look at the mail that you've received and you can choose what you would like to get back. So the mailing address, again, you can use like ipostal1.com. That's another space where you can get um, a email, excuse me, a virtual mailbox. Okay. So you do not want to use your home address here though. All right. Next up will be your company email. Your company email is pretty simple because your company email doesn't show up on your prospect neutral letter. However, it's nice to have. So if someone asks you to send them an offer and you're using DocuSign or something like that, you can use that email address for that. But just keep in mind, it doesn't have to be domain specific or anything like that. Gmail is perfectly fine. It's really up to you how you would like to set up your business, though. Okay. Next up will be your company phone number. This company phone number shows up on that prospect neutral letter along with your return address and your buying site domain. So you want to make sure that that company phone number is not your personal phone number. Again, people have your phone number. A lot of strangers will get that number. You may not like what you receive back sometimes, but ideally, that will be the phone number people will see on that letter. They'll call it and say, hey, I got your letter in the mail. Make me an offer. So that's what we're going to speak over you. So hopefully that is what happens. However, you want a good business line. So there are a few options. We recommend using Quo. It's QUO. It was formerly called Open Phone. So even if you go to openphone.com, you'll still get to the right site. That is where we recommend setting up your phone systems. So that's if you decide to have a 3-line system, that's perfectly fine. That first line will be for the buying side or the acquisition side of your business. And that's the phone number that will show up on that letter for people to call. If you decide to have a second line, that second line would be right across the street here at the offer phone. That second line would be where people would call after you've sent them an offer. That phone number will show up on that offer letter. And people can call you at that number to negotiate the offer that you sent. Okay, so that's two phone numbers. That third phone number will solely be for the selling side of your business, and we'll see that here in just a few moments. Okay, so you have your company phone number, that's that primary hotline that everybody's going to call, and then the offer phone number, which will be like a secondary line, or you can simply use the same phone number for both. It's really up to you. Some individuals will use like a Google Voice number for the first line. That way, they don't even have to pick up the phone. They can just get voicemails, but you want to make sure you have a really good voicemail asking for all of the information that you will need to find that individual in your system, especially if you've sent them a letter. You also have your, if you have like an offer phone number and you're making offers, you definitely want to get that phone call for sure. So just keep that in mind as you're setting up your phone lines. It's perfectly fine to start with just two lines and then you can build into three. Some individuals will use like Pat Live. That's a third party call center type of service where they'll answer and field those calls for you and they will give you the recommendation of individuals that are actually individuals that are calling for offers. The main thing is to send an offer to everyone that asks for one, whether it's on your voicemail or if they've actually called you or if they're calling that call center. You want to make sure that you're sending them an offer. Okay. All right. And same thing with this company offer email. This can be the same as the company email here because this is all the buying side of the business. This email is basically, again, DocuSign that you may have, documents that you may want to send via email. This business was not initially set up for email or phone use per se. That's why when you bring in records, they don't come with like the email address and the phone number automatically. So, it's normally a mailing type of a business. That's the heart of it. But again, email is growing. Technology has advanced since we started. So we do encourage you to use all of the technologies you can get your hands on to make this work best for you. All right. This next question here, we're kind of working backwards. We have this real estate agent or broker disclosure. Now, this is if you happen to be a real estate agent or broker, you can simply click yes, and then you can create a disclosure that shows up on the bottom of your letters. If you are not, you can simply say no. It is not required to be a real estate agent. To do the land flipping business. However, we do encourage you to research what the laws are in the specific states that you are looking to cast your net. So you do want to make sure that you are following the rules. So, like off the top of the head, I know that Georgia, if you are not a real estate agent or a licensed realtor or something like that, you have to have a disclaimer on the outside of the letters that you send out, letting them know that it's a marketing letter. Otherwise, you may receive some sort of repercussions from the state. I'm not sure, but just always know the laws of where you're going. That's all. Okay. All right, so next up here, we have your company time zone. So some individuals may live in one state and they want to do their business in another state. That's perfectly fine. Some individuals live outside of the country and they want to do their business in state. So that's why we have two spaces for you to put your time zone. One of them is for your profile. The other one is here in the company time zone, right? So that in a nutshell is the buying side of your business or acquisitions. Okay, so that's the information that you will need on those prospect neutral letters. All right. Next up, we have the selling or disposition side of the business. So you have your company name if you happen to have one. Again, if you don't have one, that's perfectly fine. Start out as an individual and then work up from there. You have your company email for the selling side of your business. We do recommend that that's something a little bit different. That's why Gmail, you can get away with that. Um, for those emails, same thing. You may be sending documentation via email. Again, the email address doesn't always show up on the templates or the letters automatically. Okay. The tax type and tax ID, that's something that you can put in a little bit later, but you're not required to put that into the system. I mean, that is personal information, so you really don't have to put that in right now. And then your company phone number. Again, that's your third phone number there for the selling side of your business. So individuals will call that number and say, "Hey, I see you have this parcel of land for sale on your website. Tell me more. Let me make you an offer." And you'll say, "Yes, make me that offer." And that's a place where you can also negotiate with that individual as well. So that is the buying and selling side. So we've gone over your profile, And then under settings, you can get to the buying side and the selling side. As you can see, everything that's right here is here underneath this menu. So you have the buying, selling, and then up here, this is all about your companies. Your account, this is actually for the account management service in Investment Dominator. So this is a space where you can go in and log in. You have a separate login for this because it is more of your personal information. And once you set this up, you'll come in, you'll hit forget password. They'll send you a password for it, and then you'll log in. Once you log in, you'll be able to change your credit card information, make changes to your Investment Dominator, like what type of service you have. So if you have like Pro Plus and you want to go down to Pro, or if you have Pro and you want to go down to Basic, you can do that in that section. You can also make changes to like the data service and all of that. And here I'll log into mine so you can just get an idea of what that looks like. I think this is the right one. It might yell at me. Nope, it's the right thing. So once you log in, it'll look something like this. It'll have your CRM number here, and this is your account information. It tells you what credit card, your billing information. You can update it right here. What investment dominator plan, so you can make changes to your account here. Any add-ons can be done from this section, and then notes plans as well. And then if you've gotten your domains through Investment Dominator, you can see those domains here. So like if for some reason you no longer want to be in with Investment Dominator, but you want to transfer your domains out, you can go through that process right here and transfer them all by yourself. If you have any questions about your privacy or anything like that or whitelisting, you can get to that from here as well. So that's your account information. The reason that you have like a separate login for this is so if you are working with a team or something like that, you being the super user will be the only person that has information. The super admin, excuse me, will have all of the information located here. So that's just to help you to have some privacy. So if you are fine with it being open, again, you could save that information to your device and log right in, or um, or you can just simply log out. Hi, Darlene. Welcome in. So we are in the 2.0 of Investment Dominator. We were just going over the settings section, and we started off in company. We went over the buying and selling sites, and then now we're under account. And the account tab is where it will take you to the Investment Dominator account management system. So if you click Forgot Password, once you receive that prompt to change your password, you'll change your password and you'll have access to this. Okay, so this is where you can add, again, your credit card information and make changes to your plan here. Okay. All right, so this next tab here is for campaigns. This is for all of the mailing campaigns that I've used or started in a while, and some of them are custom. We don't recommend making custom campaigns. However, sometimes those are just necessary. So that is a possibility in the system as well. So this is some of the records for the stages that we have here, stages, statuses, deal flows. You can create new stages and statuses as you go along, because sometimes you'll find that the ones that are automatically there may not fit. So you'll have the option to create all of these things, tags. So, okay. Under websites, if you have used our onboarding wizard or something like that, you should be able to see your website information. So your domain name will show up here. You can go down and make changes to it. We do have a user guide article that goes over all of the themes that we have. So you can download those themes to your device and then upload them to Investment Dominator by clicking Actions and then Upload New Theme. Okay. Let's see. Yes, Darlene, there is a Q&A at the end about getting your domain names on GoDaddy versus through Investment Dominator. Just so you know that if you get your domain names through Investment Dominator, that they are GoDaddy domains as well. But if you just want to own them outright, you're welcome to get your domains through GoDaddy. We can help you to configure them to Investment Dominator. So that is something that we can go over if you need that. Okay. So as for domains in Investment Dominator and the 2.0, we don't quite have the onboarding wizard up and running just yet. And that's the easiest way to configure those domains. But if some of you need to get domains set up, We do recommend thinking of your buying site domain and your selling site domain. You do want to make sure that they're actually available and ready to be set up. So you can go through the onboarding wizard in the legacy version in order to get those domains and then just toggle back over to 2.0 to continue on your journey. I'm going to, if anyone wants to do that, just let me know in the chat and I can go back to Legacy and show you how to do that in the onboarding wizard. I just don't want to confuse anyone. Otherwise, if you're more comfortable with me just taking your domain names and adding them, then you'll go ahead and just send those via ticket to us and then we can set those up for you on your behalf. Okay. All right. So to get into the meat and potatoes of things, a lot of you probably have records from whatever package you've purchased, whether it be Land Biz School or if you're a maximizer or if you're a coaching student, whatever type of land profit generator education you purchased, you likely have some leads that came along with it. So you might be wondering, where are those leads? Those leads are located in Investment Dominator. You can choose them yourself. So if you click prospecting, it will take you to a page like if you have records, those records will show up here. And if you don't, nothing will show up here, which is perfectly fine. What we are going to do is go over to wizards. So any actions for your records, you want to make sure that you click this prospecting tab in your records to bring them up. So you have your campaigns here. Again, that has to do with everything that you're mailing. Actions would be any action that you want to do in bulk to your records. We'll touch on that a little bit later. And then also your wizards. So wizards, you're going to find deals, and that's how you will be able to import records into your system using our data service. So if you have records that are available, you'll be able to see the credits that you have available on this first page. You'll know exactly what you're working with. And if you need to purchase more, it will let you know how to purchase more of them. Darlene asks, are the free leads anywhere in the country or do we enter the city and county? So you will enter the city and count the state and county. So I'm going to go right into that right now, as a matter of fact. So you have two options. So if you're working with the third-party leads system, you're able to import those leads using a CSV file. But today we're going to be showing how to import from our data service. So I have a data plan here. It's just because this is my demo data plan, so that's why it looks like I have so many leads. However, it shows me how much I've used over the month. It shows me how many credits I've used and how many are available. And if I would like to load any previously saved criteria or generate a new lead list, I'm going to define new criteria. Yes, Casey, if you have a data service plan, they are refreshed each month. If you have promotional credits that you have not used, those never expire. So you would want to use those first and then go into a lead package. Again, under prospecting, this is where you will find your leads, Darlene, and then you are able to go in and make changes to your records. So that means this will be under wizards and find deals. This is over on the right-hand side of the page. When you click find deals, this page populates, okay? So we're gonna choose import from our data service, and then we're going to choose define new criteria. You're so welcome, you're in the right place. Okay, so we'll go next. When you're defining your list criteria, you're going to choose, you can select a target area or you can go to the map view and make changes there as well. But we're just going to select a target area for now. I'm going to go through and I've been using Arizona a lot. So today, where do I want to go? Let's go to Montana. Why not? I don't know how much land is in Montana. Honestly, this is just for fun. We'll choose Carbon County. Okay, so it's kind of a low amount of records. It's 1,092, which is still good. So you can import all of them if you want to or not. But if you want to use the standard filters, you can say yes. But just to let you know what those standard filters are, I'm going to say no so this opens up a bit. So the standard filter starts you off with a range of $10,000 to $1 million. Okay, so if you want to change the amount, how to add criteria, Jason? Sure. So at the top, you're selecting a target area, then you just choose the state from the drop down and then choose a county and it will estimate the records and then it will ask you, would you like to use our standard filters? So I said no, and that opens it up. I think that was where you were wanting, Jason. Okay, hope so. How did I get to criteria? Like defining your list criteria to this page? Okay, so that is from, again, from the prospecting page. When you come into Investment Dominator, you click prospecting, it will pull open your list if you have one. If not, you're going to head over here. You have these three tabs here. So that's kind of like the record data control center. You'll hit Rec Wizards and Find Deals, and boom, there you are. Okay, all right, so we're going to head back. We'll hit Next here after we've decided we're going to import, define new criteria. We'll click Next. So we need to choose our state. I think I was in Montana, and I think we were playing around with Carbon County, but you can choose whichever one you like. Here are the estimated records based on the filters that are pre-selected. So if I don't want to use the pre-selected filters, I'll say no. Or if you just want to see what they are, again, the minimum amount was 10,000 all the way to 1 million. I don't know if they changed the do sliders yet. Okay, so you'll type in the box if you don't want to do that much. So if I change the monetary amount, it will likely change the number that I have. So I'm going to go to 50 and see how that reduces down to 866. This isn't, this is the amount that's estimated in that area based on the county records. So that's the amount for sale. That you can make, you can reach out to individuals and say, let me make you an offer. So these are people who have properties in this area that may want an offer on that property. Okay. It's just vacant land based on the county records. So after I up the minimum to 50,000, you have 866 records available. Okay. So here you have your most popular filters. Again, that market value is set up here, your lot acreage. You can make other adjustments, and then you have all of your land use codes. So vacant land, residential vacant land. You can take some of these out, but they're automatically, all of them are automatically selected. So if you don't want some of them, you just totally click the X and they'll go away. I'm just going to select all for these. For if you have specific property information, you can do that. And you also have like owner of record. You can change the ownership type to individuals, companies, or both. Okay. I'm just going to use both for this one. If you have property lien information, there is a specific uh, section in the land profit generator that kind of goes over this with Jack. He has a teaching on that. So we're just going to click next to see what else we have here. All right, and I'm just going to check in here. Jason, at what point does it consume the credits? So it consumes the credits on the next page. You'll be able to type them in. You'll physically have to type in the number of credits that you want to use, okay? Darlene, so not necessarily for sale. These are based on the county records on like what vacant land that they have. In the letter, it kind of goes over like what we're asking for. So they may not, they're not necessarily on the market. They're just available in that area. Okay. So here you get a rundown of what you have. You have 866 property owners based on the filters that I put into the system. So there may be more, there may be considerably less, but based on the filters that I chose, that's what I'm able to receive from Carbon County, Montana. It lets me know that I have already imported 0 property owners from Carbon County, Montana, which is true. I've never pulled in anything from this county before. It tells me the state, the county, the market value, all of your selections are listed here. I'm asking to include owners with multiple properties. Yes. Import only 1 property per owner. Yes. So I'm including all ownership types as well. So on this next page, Jason, this is where we're going to put in the amount that we want to get. So here it's asking how many records would you like to import into your system? You have to physically type this in. I'm only going to pull in 10 today. All right, so it tells me I'm importing 10 out of the 866. It also reminds me how many I've imported previously, how many credits I have available, and any additional credits that I would be required to pull this list if I didn't have enough. Okay. Do I want to tag these records? Absolutely. Tagging records allows you to keep up with them. It's a great organization tool so that you don't lose track of like where do these records come from. So if any of you have used the onboarding wizard in the legacy version, when you import those 10 free leads, it says 10 free onboarding leads. So this is where you want to make sure that you put something in. So I'm going to put Carbon County. This is just what I'm doing. I'm just going to put the space, the county and state, and the date. So I know when I added this. Okay. Then you'll simply click Add Tag, and that creates a tag. When you see that there, you've got one. If you look at it and you're like, yar, I don't like this tag, you can simply exit and then try a new one. All right. If you're working with a team and you want to assign these records to a team member, you'll have the option to do that. If you have a team, you could say yes, and it'll show you a drop down of all of the users that you have on your team. We'll simply say no. It just keeps it neutral. And then the property records are not currently in a deal flow. Would you like to add them to a deal flow? Absolutely. You want to make sure that you know where these properties are going. And I don't know why this is angry inside right now. Okay. So generally when I click yes here, I should have a space where my records will be imported into the prospect status. But I believe that no. Okay. I wonder if me using this in Chrome is causing an issue today. Let's see if I can do this. Come back. So generally when I say yes, it gives me a drop down and shows me all of the deal flows that we have available. But I'm going to go ahead and save this for a moment. Montana. And that's if you don't want to import, you can come back to it. So keep that in mind. I'm going to try this again. Confirm. Okay, let me go back in and see if I'm able to change it now or something like that. Where data service, load saved criteria. There's Palmer County, Montana. Let's see if it'll pull it down. 66. Oops. Next. They're already tagged. Hmm. Okay, something's angry with the system. I do apologize. But generally, this has been working. So I know that they've been working on the system quite a bit. So generally, this would allow me to import. So I'm glad I'm getting this on record. So we'll come back to this. But I do apologize. All right, so I will come out of this, but let's just say that I've imported these records. I have some here from California. They're Alpine County, California. So let's say that I've imported these and they've come into my system, and now I want to send out a mailing. Okay, so I have the option to select all of my records, but that's not what I want to do. I just want to first do the first 10 records that I have. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and send this out. So we've got these 10 selected. We're going to go to actions, and then we're going to generate documents. So the templates that we have here, the neutral letter here, okay, and it gives me options on how I would like to process these records to send out those letters. So we do have a mailing house, which would be REI PrintMail and ITI Direct Mail. So REI PrintMail is a mailing service that's already integrated into Investment Dominator. So you'll get a very different experience if you decide to use REI PrintMail. It will automatically just take it and run with it. It'll tell you which way would you like to send it, standard or first class. It's just a difference of like 8 to 10 cents based on that. And then you'll click next and then it'll start going. I don't have a valid address, so that's why it's angry with me. These are fake leads, but that's okay. So as you're going on through the process, it will go ahead and send those out. But you can see that it's integrated just from that. I'm going to actually just send them through our, if I was going to mail them out manually. So you can see the actual letter. So I'm going to use local printer home office, and I don't need them collated. So I have neutral letters, envelopes, and all documents zipped. So we're going to download these records and open. So let me see if you can actually see that yet. Yes. Okay, so here is a letter that will go out. It has the date, it has the address where it's going, it has one property APN, just in case if you brought in more than one record from this individual. You're letting them know, hey, public records show you as the owner of a property in Alpine County, California. I'm very interested in purchasing this property from you. So it goes on to talk about if you're interested in if you're considering selling your property. So that answers your question even further, Darlene. They're not necessarily for sale. You're asking them to give them um, asking them to sell it to you. Hey, I want to buy your land. Okay. So there's that magical phone number there that people are going to call quite a bit. You also have your website. That domain name is there, and then you can also submit an offer request on the Sell Your Land tab on the website that you have there. Your logo, your signature image, which I need to move over. Also, it has your property's name if you happen to have one, and again, that domain name. As you can see, your email address is not on this letter. It does have that PS for your business hours, so you can also get this removed if you don't want to have that at the bottom as well. But then the key thing here is that you have an owner ID number. This is the reference number. I'll try to make this a bit bigger so you can see it over here in the right hand corner. You can also change it to the left hand corner. So those are some of the changes that you can make to the templates. So this owner ID, or this reference number showing up on the letter, it's also on your envelope as well. That is how you will be able to find individuals when you send those letters out and they call you and say, hey, I received your letter in the mail, make me an offer. You'll ask them for that owner ID or reference number. That way you'll be able to find this individual in your system quickly, and then you can go through the process of building that, gathering information from them to make your offer. Okay. In case you said you had that issue on Friday. Okay. So let me make a note of this because tomorrow we have a presentation and we need that to be able to happen. Okay, so let me exit. And so one of the things that I can do if I have them all selected here, I can put them into a deal flow. So I just go to bulk changes and let's type in deal flow and click next. And then you'll be able to choose the deal flow from the drop down. So when you're importing records, this is what it should look like. You'll have that LPG neutral letter, which is the one that we were talking about, sending out that prospect neutral letter, asking people, hey, let me buy your land. The blind offer is basically sending something to like the individuals in the area of where, where they have parcels of land. So you're sending these to individuals that are not expecting it as a blind offer. You're just sending an offer to them saying, hey, here's this offer. You want this for this land? So they can say yes or no. So it's not you're not asking, you're telling them, hey, here's an offer. Do you want this offer? But the other letter says, hey, I want to buy your land, you know. So anyway, the other one, MOB, house wholesaling, that's something different that goes along with houses. And then the ID buying website is a different thing as well. So the neutral letter is always the classic way to go. Depending on the land profit generator education you purchased, that is what you will learn in there on like which one you want to use. So let's see here. So we have this here for the neutral letter. And the first status, so any type of deal flow you choose, the next question will have all of the order of that particular deal flow. So for the land profit generator neutral letter, which I've been talking about all night, you have the prospect status where you're sending out that letter to them. Once you mail the letter, it goes into mail letter one. Then if someone says, make me an offer, in order to make them an offer, you're going to put it into pending preliminary research. Then once you send that offer out, it goes into offer sent, and the person accepts the offer, then it's open escrow, detailed research. Most of the time you're starting to market it as well. And then once it's complete and ready to sell, it goes into that status. At that point, it's on your selling site and someone sees it on your selling site and says, hey, I'd like to buy that, and then it's sold. Okay. So just to give you an idea of all of them, the blind offer, you're putting it directly into pending preliminary research because you're saying, hey, I'm sending you this offer. I hope you like it. And you send that blind offer that says blind offer sent. Hopefully they accept that offer. You're just basically skipping over the introduction and saying, hey, I'd like to buy your land to, hey, here's some money. You want this? So then you have the open escrow detailed research that comes after that, and then complete ready to sell and sold. So looking at MOB house wholesaling, this is a little bit different. You are sending out a prospect neutral letter, you're mailing them, you have that mail letter one, then postcards. And again, this has to do with actual houses. So this is a little bit different. So you have a little bit of a of different range of statuses for this one. And then ID buying website. So that's if someone goes to your website and they say, hey, got your letter, and they put it in, that you can automatically, they say, make me an offer, then you can go through the pending preliminary research phase with them. So you can change that deal flow from just prospect neutral letter to ID buying website. Someone went to your buying website because they saw the letter that you had. Okay. So I hope that makes sense. And again, a lot of this will be covered in your, I'm trying to find my chat here, sorry. A lot of this will be covered in um, your LPG classes, the education that you've purchased. So let me check here. So moving your signature over, Casey, that is something that happens in the onboarding wizard in 2.0, and that's not quite done yet, but we can help you with it. And I'm not entirely certain it's because of having the profile picture, unless you have the profile picture that shows up on your actual letter as well. So if you have like a custom letter, then you can move that around. Just send us a ticket. We can help you to balance that out. Um, and then, okay, so Jason, we went over on the MOB, and yes, you can use it for houses, but you are not able to use the data service for houses and things like that because technically this is for land flipping, but they're building that out eventually as well. Okay. All right. So we're making the changes here. The ID buying website, excuse me, we're changing it to the LPG neutral letter. Sorry about that. And all of these friends are going to be in mail letter one because inherently I've sent out a letter. Let's just pretend. All right, so I'm updating those properties, and in a perfect world, they will all update to mail letter one. So let's see what happens, friends. Close. She's refreshing. Behold, they're all in mail letter one. So the select all is working and updates are working there. So that's great. So of course, it's not perfect. We are still in the building stages, but however, what is ready is quite amazing. We are making changes all day, every day. So what I will say is make sure that you're using the most updated version of your browser. Don't be afraid to come out of Investment Dominator and restart it. If you find yourself getting stuck with something, just try some device troubleshooting, and then let us know if it's something that's getting a little bit out of hand. I have noted that issue there with adding it to a deal flow once you are in importing records. And so I will let them know that too, because that was actually a working thing for weeks. But nevertheless, this is technology. So much fun. Where can you find the exact number of leads you get each month, or do we have to call? So if you have a data service plan, you should be able to see that from that Find Deals Wizard section, because here it will tell you your data plan usage. It will let you know how many you've used and how many are available, of course, but it will have the number here. So like if you have 500 records, it'll say you've used XYZ out of 500 records. Okay. So if you have a lead package, let us know. All right, so that was the letter that goes out to everyone. Let me see. Are the credits monthly and reset every month? Yes, they are run on a 30-day cycle. So you can check in with Land Profit Generator, but they do reset every month. So they don't stay unless they are your prospect. I mean, excuse me, not prospect, but promotional leads that you got at the beginning of a program, then they will stay. They do not, the promotional leads do not expire. Okay. Great questions tonight, guys. How do I see the date they reset, or is it the same for? all first of every month. It's not for the same. It's based on the date that you started the service. So, say if you started on the 18th of November, then you would renew on the 18th of December, like at 5 o'clock in the morning. I think is when they hit. So you would go from date to date. Where's their info about leads program, not the promo leads? Is that in the training? There is a user guide for that, and I'm so grateful that you geared me in that direction. Um, so let's go here to, can I tell which are the promotional and which are the monthly leads? Yes, those will have that information here. Credits with date expiring. So because it's a part of like your account, you may be able to see that in like it would be good, I guess, if you had like your ending date here. So that's a thought. That's a good one, Jason. Okay. Ending. All right. So I was heading over to our help section. Our help section is a wealth of information. So if you get lost or if you need some help, click help. We have our user guide here. Our user guide kind of gives you all of the step-by-step resources that you need to get help with. So as you're getting started with Investment Dominator 2.0, you can browse by category. If you want to look at some of our previous training calls, you can just simply click here for live training Q&A calls, and they will show up here. So I will make sure the rest of them get tagged because there are several more than this. All right. So also, you can click Get Started. That will take you through a process as well, or you can simply um, go through and choose your training modules here. So, like how to create custom templates, documents, or you can simply type in. It's like the Google of Investment Dominator in a way. So, say you have questions about the data service, there should be a data service in here. It tells you how to import them. There's a Q&A page that we have, like a frequently asked question one as well. And it says every account includes 100 monthly data service credits with options to upgrade for higher monthly limits. So this kind of goes through that process as well. And then you can go through, and this will take you through the exact process that I just took you through. Click prospecting, go to wizards, find deals wizard, and you can go through the process of importing records. Um, so like I said, everything that you need is in this user guide to get started. I believe we have the get started section up. Let me double check. Okay, so we have the quick start, we have the quick start guide, and this is kind of like the list of things that the articles that you will use when you're first getting started. So like getting leads with the data service, importing a CSV list if you want to, sending out your first mailing and things of that nature, getting your offers out if you have them, any deal flow and tracking, marketing and selling your property. So all of those articles are kind of listed here, but you can also go through and click in here and find those things as well. I'm not sure if we have the themes in here just yet. So I'm gonna have to transfer those over because we do have the old user guide as well. That's also very helpful. Okay. Confirming the credits don't or do roll over, or confirming the credits they do not roll over if they are not used. So say if your credits were done on the 18th and you have not used them all by the 17th, they will just refresh. They're not going to roll over. Okay. So keep that in mind. All right. We also have an AI support assistant here, but of course, with anything AI, it goes off of what you feed it. So the AI support assistant is just learning, it's new. So if you ask it something a little bit too complex, it may not give you what you want. That's why we do recommend sending in tickets if you're having an issue. That is the fastest way to get in contact with our support team. We are here to help. Here under help, you do have a section where you can click support tickets, and you're in here. Some of them are you can click closed on them. Some of them, if they're closed, if you have all, they should all show up here. But if you have any open, pending, working, or closed, you should be able to see them all in here. And so if they're pending, then that means that we are definitely waiting for information from you to complete the process of that particular ticket. If we're working on it, that means we're researching and doing our due diligence. One thing that you can do to help us to work tickets a little bit faster, you can always send us a screen recording of what your experience is. Because we're working with 2.0, some of the things are a little bit different, but this in any case is always helpful if you can go to loom.com. That's LOOM.com. Loom, like um, knitting, sewing, Loom, uh, you can go there and create a free screen share. It's a free screen share service, and you don't have to show your face or anything like that, but you can use your voice, just kind of tell us where it hurts. And that way, we're able to diagnose it quickly. We can see what it is. We can go in and try to recreate the issue and then give you some good advice either via Loom or via ticket. It's just a quick link that you would take and just put that right into the ticket itself in the body of the ticket. So it makes it a little bit easier to get in contact with our team to get some help. So that's what we're here for. Some of you may have received a one-on-one call to set up your investment dominator. If you did, fantastic. You get to do that one time. It's 20 minutes. But if you get caught up on something, so for instance, uh, I think it was Darlene that had some issues with your domains. So if for some reason you need some assistance getting your domains configured, you can set up a clarity call. So that's going to the same page where you set up the original call, but you'll scroll down to option number 2, which would be a clarity call. And you would send it in a ticket, say, hey, I need some assistance setting up my websites. I would like to schedule a clarity call. Our team will send you a link, and then you'll set up your appointment that way and using the ticket number that you've submitted. So that way, that's another fast way to get things resolved as well. If it's something that's just causing you a lot of confusion and you don't have time to go back and forth on a ticket. So just always trying to find ways to streamline processes for you. So you said, where is that I can never find? You can never find ground zero. So if you're looking for a ticket, you just submit a new support ticket. So just add help ticket, give us as much detail as possible, and just let us know that you would like to set up a clarity call, and our team will send you a link to set that up. Okay. When I draw my area, it keeps showing another county than the results. Okay, so are you possibly crossing the county line at all, or let's see. So I believe, Casey, what you're talking about is in the data service when you go in and you are trying to choose an area in the map view. Okay. So when you go in, and the map is can be tricky. You control into zoom. I'm just going to head over to Tennessee here and see what happens. Um, so I want to draw freehand or polygon. Okay, go back. Okay, so after I click the state, the counties come up. Oh, goodness. And it shows me one county that I did select. But if I want to work over here in Rutherford, I'll do that. So I've selected Rutherford County, Tennessee, scrolling in even more. So if I'm in these lines, I should be okay. Some of these look like they're outside of the lines, but I think it's just a imaging error. Let me scroll back. Let me draw freehand. So I'll just do this circle right in the middle, apply, and it gives me 806. Um, say yes to those filters. Let me see what it pulls. Yeah, still pulling Rutherford County, Tennessee. Let me go back. So if I do something else, like if I get too close to an edge, it may pull from another county, not radius. We'll do freehand again. So if I'm in Rutherford and I go across this line, it may give me a different county, but let me just see. It may still hold on to Rutherford, but I'm clearly in another county line. I'm in Wilson County as well. It's still stuck with Rutherford, but I was in Wilson too. Yeah, if you cross it, yeah, it gets angry inside. It's very sensitive and strange sometimes, but but it's very magical. The map is something you have to kind of play with, and it gets a little weird if you cross the county lines. All right, friends. So I have about 1 minute left here. Again, the help section is your friend. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us. If you are brand new to this, give yourself some grace. Take it one day at a time. You had to learn to do a lot of things like driving, bicycle riding, if you're into that, skating, even. You have to get your muscles acclimated to using certain things. So give yourself some grace. If you have questions, again, please don't hesitate to reach out. That's what we're here for. We're here to help. Does ID host our email domain as well, or do we do this separately? You would do that separately at GoDaddy, and then you would send us there is like the MX and TXT information that you'll need from GoDaddy. Send that to us so that we can set that up if we own the domains. Okay. All right. And again, all you have to do is send us a ticket. Welcome, Rebecca. Congratulations. Yes, darling. MX and TXT. Correct. So you'll send that information over to us from GoDaddy. All right, friends. So again, if you're new, like Rebecca, congratulations on your new land flipping journey. We are so excited that you're here, and we're happy to walk alongside you on this new journey. And we are here to help any type of way that we can. So feel free to send in that help ticket. I look forward to speaking with some of you very soon. I hope you all take care and have a wonderful evening. Take care of yourselves. Bye bye.